Today you are going to learn how to make or find equivalent fractions using division. In early May, Fairbanks, Alaska has daylight for 18 out of 24 of the day. What are some fractions equivalent to 18/24? To find equivalent fractions, divide the numerator and the denominator by a common factor greater than 1. A common factor is a factor two or more numbers have in common. So, two common factors for 18 and 24 are 2 and 3. So we have to divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. You have to divide it by the same number, which is equal to 1. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. We're just using division, doing the same thing we did yesterday, but instead of multiplying, we're dividing by the same number. So 18/24 of a day is equal to 9/12 of a day. Now let's look at this bottom part. We have 18/24 of a day over here. We're going to divide both sides by 3, so 3 over 3, which is also equal to 1 whole. 18 divided by 3 is 6, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. Therefore, 18/24 of a day is also equal to 6/8 of a day. If we look at this bubble right here, we can see that 18/24, 9/12, and 6/8 are all equivalent fractions. And I can even take 6/8 and we can still divide that because they're both even. So we could divide both sides by 2, or 2 over 2, which is equal to 1 whole. And we can get 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. 3/4 is also an equivalent fraction to 18/24, 9/12, and 6/8. Let's do the guided practice together. Number 1, use division to show that 9/12 and 3/4 are equivalent fractions. So basically, we just have to show that we're dividing by the same digit on both sides to get the other number. So here I have 9/12, and we want to know if it's equivalent to 3/4. So we just have to figure out, what am I dividing, or how am I getting from 9 to 3? Well, I'm dividing by 3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. If I divide 12 by the same number to get to 4, then it's equivalent. So 12 divided by 3 is also 4. Since I'm dividing both sides by 3, I know that 9/12 is equivalent to 3/4. Number 2, is there a fraction with a smaller numerator and denominator that is equivalent to 4/12? Explain. When you guys get into 5th grade, you're going to have to find the simplest form of a fraction. That means you can't divide it anymore. So we're going to practice with 4/12. So we have 4/12. Since 4 and 12 both share the factor of 4, we can divide both sides by 4. And if we divide both sides by 4, we're going to get 1 over 3. And that is going to be the simplest form because I cannot divide 1 and 3 into anything else to create an equivalent fraction. You could have also divided both sides by 2, and 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So if I would have done that, I would have gotten 2/6, because 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. But with 2/6, both of those digits are even, so I know I could divide each side by 2 again. And if I divide each side by 2 again, I will end up with 1/3, which is what I got right here. Number 3, we are asked to divide to find equivalent fractions. So I have 6/10. I'm going to write number 3 down here just so I have more room. So number 3, I have 6/10. I know that both of these numbers are even, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So if I divide both sides by 2, because you have to use the same number, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I will end up with 3/5. All right, let's try number 4. We have 8/12. Well, I know that I could divide both of these numbers by 2, but I could also divide both of these numbers by 4 because those are factors. So I'm going to go with the bigger one. Now you could go with either one because as long as you're dividing, your answer is going to be right. But I'm going to go with 4. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I'm going to get 2/3. So 2/3. All right. In numbers 5 through 8, it gives you one of the numbers. So you're going to have to use whatever they're dividing by to get the other number. So number 5, I'm going to do down here. We have 8/12 is equal to some number over 3. Well, I know to get from 12 to 3, I'm dividing by 4. So I have to divide 8 by 4, and I will get 2. So my answer is going to be 2/3. Number 6. I'm going to use a different color here since I ran out of room down at the bottom of my page. I have to figure out what the missing digit is. So to get from 10 to 5, I know that they divided by 2. So then I need to divide 12 by 2, and I'm going to end up with 6. All right, try to do 7 and 8 on your own and pause the video, and then you can check your answers with mine. Okay, now that you have tried them, see if your answers are correct. So we have to figure out how are they getting from 10 to 5. Well, they're dividing by 2. So I have to divide this one by 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So if you got 1/5, you are correct. And then for our last one, we are going from 100 to 10. And so they divided by 10. So I just have to divide the top by 10. And 10 divided by 10 is 1. So number 8, you should have gotten 1/10. Go ahead and do the rest of the numbers on this page and then come show me when you are done, and I will give you a partner to work with on the back.